or one of our gCADPlus users in Queensland wants to take advantage of a device called Moasure that will enable base plans to be recorded quickly, and he's having some difficulty bringing the data from the Moasure device into the gCADPlus environment. What he wants to do is to quickly do designs for clients of the type that you see here. So that cyan line running around there has been produced by the Moasure device. So let's get out of Acrobat Reader and viewing, and we'll go back to gCADPlus. So here's the design. I'm in layout space here with a little logo down the bottom. But if we go back into model, we can look at the way in which this device produces data before we look at how to bring it into a drawing. The Moasure device can clearly draw a straight line. If I pick here, the properties box tells us it's a line. So there are it's a very simple entity, isn't it? And here's another one. The first one was horizontal, but this one's slightly off. It's 86.79. Whether that's intentional or not, I'm not sure. But the real problem for us, I think, in future and use of this is that the device must take samples almost every second as you walk along through there. So the polyline that results from it has 72 data points or control points. That's potentially going to clog up the drawing with an awful lot of points, but is manageable. If I pick here, for mine we'd like a slightly smoother looking shape, but because so many control points in here, we don't have our access to the normal, say, cubic B spline that's now been applied, but it's still a somewhat lumpy shape. So we can get data in. Let's run through how we manage it. We'll start gCADPlus and we'll just choose the default environment. To bring in the information from Moasure, it comes as a drawing exchange file, and because we have a drawing open now, we can come down here and to our DXF tools and say we're going to bring a DXF file in. So we navigate to the location of that DXF file. And here we are. We open it, and I'm now in layout space, but I come back to model space, and here's that shape that we've just been discussing. I'm not quite sure its location, but if I go ID and we just ID that point somewhere here, that's very close to 0, 0. So it comes out with that point there. There's some marker there. The grid's on, and that's distracting, so we'll take the grid off. So there's our first line, our second line that we've discussed, and this is raw data coming in, so it's got, in my view, a bit of a kink. But our man is interested in, can we bring it in? Yes, we can, but let's look at how it handles distance. If we click from here to here, that's 4.106. So I imagine that Moasure is calibrated to work in meters. So the first step would be to scale this at a base point. I'll type 0, 0 and scale by 1,000, and then zoom extents. And what I did earlier in experimenting here was I picked up the linear dimension tool and I located the start point of the dimension and the end point and pulled away from that. So I'd be double checking my notes now. That's 4123. We try and help our landscapers by making sure we do a whole, so we put 4120 rather than the 23, but I digress. So the information is now in, and it's been scaled to work in millimetres, so we can bring in from our library and our plants. We'll just go standard plants, and we'll just move down and find suitable images. This is a tropical area, so we'll bring in a standard symbol that symbol needs some attention. What's happened here is the symbol's not quite adjusted correctly, and we will correct that pronto. The information here is carried on a layer called plant construction, and if I turn it off, it disappears. However, let's turn it back on, and I'll demonstrate how to fix that on the fly. Select the symbol, edit the block. We want to determine where 0, 0 is. You can see it's centered on the symbol there. So we need to just move those symbols there and then close the block editor. And now we can pick that block up, that symbol block, and move it. Let's imagine we're putting it at the back, maybe against a fence. We can right click and scale our symbol like so. Looks more reasonable, and we would turn off that construction layer. So we're starting to work, and let's try another one, and hopefully we won't get a dodgy symbol. So library, plants, standard. We'll rock it somewhere down here. There's a spiky plant. Insert it into the drawing, and it's behaving itself quite nicely. We can copy that from there to there and there. So I hope we've answered and demonstrated that you can bring information from Moasure into this environment. I'd be inclined to trace over that shape or use one of our tools that will give you a nice flowing shape. But that's probably better left for another demonstration. So I hope that helps our user.